3D print failures are a reality of life. Sometimes things just don't work out. And what you see here is not Bigfoot leaving his trimmings behind in my print bed, but rather a failed print due to layer adhesion issues. How do I know it's layer adhesion? How did I fix it? And how can you fix it? Is coming up. Okay, so what am I talking about here? The issue that you saw is simply related to too much moisture in my filament. And how do I know this? Well, I started to see this happening earlier in the summer, and I thought to myself, it can't be that I need to dry the filament because it's the middle of summer in Seattle. And for those of you who don't know, summers in Seattle are pretty warm, pretty dry. And well, you see it. I mean, you see it on the news, forest fires, that kind of stuff. It all happens up here because things get really, really dry. I didn't think for a second that it would be related to moisture until I went on my weather app and I started to look at the days in terms of humidity. And what I saw was this graph that was plotted out, and it was almost consistent every single day. Daytime, where it's warm outside, temperatures get really high. And when I say high for Seattle is 90 degrees, really high is 95. I've only seen it in the hundreds a couple of times here. Most of us don't have air conditioning. Some of us do, some of the newer construction places do, but this house that was built in the 80s, nope, doesn't have it. So we relegate the temperature in here as best we can using a series of fans and convection, pulling cold air or cool air through and replacing the stagnant air with that cool air. For the most part, it works, but it still doesn't get back to what I was talking about with the humidity. I said it was, did this slow motion. That's because in the daytime, humidity was around 40%, 46%, somewhere around there. Nighttime, however, was a different story altogether. By the time it got to 2 o'clock in the morning, the relative humidity in most cases was above 80, and sometimes by 6 a.m., it was approaching 95%. And this happened every single day in July and in August, and it's still happening now in September when I'm filming this video. So it gives you an idea. It's like, okay, so there's a, remember the open windows thing? Yeah. So my filament that I was leaving out at night, I know that's kind of a cardinal sin for a lot of people. But I was looking at all the makers that are on, the 3D printing websites and 3D printing YouTube channels. They all have spools of filament behind them. And I'm like, okay, I guess you can leave it out. Well, we all live in different climates, and that's part of the problem, is that I was assuming that I could apply their reasoning with mine, and I could just leave things out. Wrong. That was wrong. Just some casual searches on Reddit and Facebook and a couple other forums, I quickly realized that humidity is going to be an issue if I continue to leave it out like that. So I wanted to solve this with a 1-2 punch. And the first thing was I wanted to learn about drying filament. So I did a ton of research. I was looking into different ways to dry my filament. And I got to the point where it was clear that I didn't want to go like the hobbyist route where it's a dehumidifier or it's an oven or a microwave or anything that could ignite anything. I just didn't want to get into that. I know dehumidifiers don't, but it just didn't seem like an elegant solution to me. So I decided to look into the commercial options. And I found a bunch of different dryers out there. On Amazon, you can find them all over the place. But I came across one that I thought might be a really good use case given my particular situation. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I've been looking to get an AMS unit for quite some time. I still haven't gotten one because I've learned to just do single layer prints and just stack colors that way. I've learned how to do that. I've gotten really good at it, and I don't see the need to have an AMS just yet, especially with all the new printers that are coming out that have multiple tool heads. I think I'm going to go that route when it becomes a possibility with other manufacturers. Get back on topic here. So I thought, okay, well, I need to print usually more than one color, and I need to print at most usually 4 colors, sometimes 5, but usually 4. And sure enough, Creality had a dryer called the SpacePi X4 that seemed to fit the bill. So I went ahead and ordered it from Creality, and about a week later, it showed up. Now, this video, by the way, is not sponsored by anybody, not Creality. I paid for everything I'm talking about here, and I am going to put links down below. So if you do decide to buy one, it's going to be an affiliate link, just so if this video is in any way helpful to you to find the product that you're looking for, if you can click those links down below, that goes a long way to helping the channel make a little bit of money here and there at no extra cost to you. So, okay, that's out of the way. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. So the Creality SpacePi X4 has 4 places for 4 different spools of 1 kilo of filament. It also has the ability to hold up to 8 250-gram filament spools. Why you would need to do that, I don't know, but there is a possibility for that. Or you can basically replace any one spool with 2 250-gram spools. It has 2 independent chambers that have different settings for heating, and then it also has a different readout sensor for humidity. What's really cool about this one with the X4 is that all you really have to do is you use the simple little touchscreen that it has on the front, and you just press which chamber you want to interact with. You choose the type of filament that's in that chamber. It has 2 different spots, one for the 2 different spools, and then it automatically calculates what temperature you need to dry your filament at and how long it's going to take. Now, these are based on averages. So if your manufacturer has more specific information, you can program that in. You can use your own time and temperatures in there. They're just not part of the presets. What's cool about having 2 independent chambers is that I can have PLA in one, and I can have like TPU and ABS in another. I can go back and forth between those materials. Obviously not in the same print for some of these, but you get my point, is that I can have my PLA drying at 50 degrees centigrade for 8 hours, and I can have my TPU and my ABS drying at 80 degrees centigrade for 6 hours, and they're going to be perfect condition when they come out. And the best part for me is that the SpacePi X4 actually has 8 different PTFE tube connectors that allow you to hook up either in the back or on the top of your SpacePi, and then feed that directly into your printer. And you're like, well, Jeremy, you have one input going into a P1S. How are you going to make that work? You buy the little splitter, little bamboo splitter that splits 1 into 4 or 4 into 1, however you want to think about it. Get that, and that feeds the printer. And what that allows you to do is have all of your filaments essentially teed up, ready to go. And then you just pull back one manually when you're done with it, and you feed the next one in past the splitter into the tool head, and away you go. It works great. And since I installed this thing, it has made my prints so much more consistent. And it's not like it's going to make it immune to failures. Failures can happen for a number of reasons. But when it comes to layer adhesion or any kind of bubbling due to excessive moisture inside of that filament, that's gone. So that I've eliminated one potential variable from the mix by doing this. Then comes the issue of storage. How do I store this stuff? Unit itself you can leave your filament inside there for storage because it's got a gasket on the top lid. And once you lock it down, the automatic dehumidify and automatic dry features that are built into the SpacePi X4 will keep that filament right where it needs to be in case you need to print right away, which is awesome. And of course, with the SpacePi X4, you can simply print while it's drying. But there is the issue of storage. So a lot of people I've seen will get like the cereal box containers, the plastic ones from different companies. I've seen, obviously there's manufacturers that make commercially available dryers, and those are all great for drying, but not so much for storing. Some of them have like you can just pull it off the dryer and then put it away in storage. Well, you have to buy a container for every single filament that you have that you want to keep dry. And that just seems like an incredible waste of money to me. Whereas if I just use this kit here, something else I found on Amazon, let's say you have 30 spools of filament. Perfect. You get this little kit, and these bags, for the most part, are reusable. I've had a couple fail on me, and it might be user error. I'm still trying to figure that part out. But the kit comes with the bags. It comes with desiccant. It comes with the vacuum pump, obviously. And then it also comes with these little Ziploc type of clamps that you just run right across the zipper portion of the bag, and then you apply the vacuum and start sealing it up. These two together have been the ultimate solution for me. I'm not going to say that I haven't had print failures, but they're not due to moisture in the filament. That's it. I am really curious, though, what your solution is. What works for you? What hasn't worked for you? What kinds of things, what kind of tools do you use to actually make your filament dry? Let me know in the comments below. Also, the 2 links to the products that I talked about in the video will be right here. Thanks for watching. And again, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care. Bye-bye.